polling change in the future.
The honest answer, Allison, is I don't know.
An honest man, ladies.
I don't think the pollsters.
Welcome to NewsBeast. We've got Doug Schoen, pollster, famed pollster, author of Hopelessly Divided, as well as Allison Yarrow in the house with us today. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Michael Tomasky has a piece up today about the fictitious Obama enemies list, which has been a talking point for Mitch McConnell and other folks on Your Fair Network. What is going on?
Well, I think there is a coarseness and a corrosiveness in our politics now. And I think that the list that either the Obama campaign or Obama affiliates or Obama supporters put together and the attacks on Romney supporters is not constructive. I think to play the game that Tomasky played of it is worse, it isn't worse than the Nixon enemies list misses the real point, which is it doesn't help our politics to do this.
Fair enough, but I think the point that Tomasky was pushing is that McConnell goes on, Senate Majority Leader goes on television and hilariously describes the president as Nixonian.
Yeah, it's really quite Nixonian. I mean, I think you have to go back to Richard Nixon to find the last time you had a group of people, both through the campaign and through the power of the federal government, really trying to harass and silence critics.
Which I sort of want to know what Mitch McConnell was doing and saying around 1972, 73. But there's really no comparison. There was an enemies list. We are on the 40th anniversary of Watergate. It's a serious, serious charge, and this is fluffery. This is fictitious.
It's it's Mean Girls or the Mafia, basically. Those are where you have lists of people you're looking to hit. I mean, it just sounds so ridiculous. And I think part of it too is maybe it should be put upon us to sort of do some of the journalism. The list that he's talking about is a post from the Obama campaign in which staffers compiled, big dollar donors to the Romney campaign, and we should be doing some of that.
That's right. I mean, look, I think
journalists.
Too many journalists over rely on Oppo research from campaigns. It's something that disgusts me because it's so lazy. But one of the points of the alleged benefits of Citizens United, which is that we've got unprecedented transparency, is a degree of scrutiny to those people who are giving multi-million dollars.
The second point that Tomasky made is one I would completely agree with. We do need contemporaneous disclosure of all contributions, especially to super PACs. And if you asked me what the single most corrosive element in this campaign is, to use that word again, it is the rise of super PACs and the fact that unregulated, unrecorded contributions are having a disproportionate influence on our politics.
Yeah, that's true. And I think actually I'm going to point out something that you wrote about in the Political Fix, which is something that I think a lot of people are sort of averse to this idea, but campaigns do cost money, right? So we spend a lot of money advertising for insurance packages, corporations fund, beer. We should be funding sort of how we elect the leader of the free world in the same way that we would, force you to choose Budweiser.
I would absolutely agree with that. I'm all for public financing. I'm also for disclosure, but what I'm not for, what scares me, is if Sheldon Adelson is able to spend $10 million and say, I'll go to 50 or 100, if the Koch brothers can do it. Or by the way, if Soros or Peter Lewis
Richard Trumka or the unions.
Whichever side.
I think it's
absolutely.
It is very, very bad, and when it's not disclosed, it's even worse.
Absolutely. Allison, you've been working on a story on immigration. What's been catching your eye about the politics of the audacious immigration move?
The audacious. Well, so Friday, the Obama administration sort of set out this executive order that there's going to be, prosecutorial, what's the word? I just lost it.
They're going to give essentially waivers.
That's right, discretion. So they're going to allow people, they're going to say, let's go after criminals. Let's not go after kids who came here when they were young.
That's a pithy little, you should trademark that. Criminals, not kids.
Criminals, not kids, yes. So they're going to do that.
In this political consultant.
I don't know about that. But so basically, but it's very unclear sort of who is this going to apply to. And there lots of immigration lawyers are looking at right now. There are plenty of people who are in the midst of removal proceedings. How will this go for them? Will they be able to stay here? This is not a path to citizenship for them. Will there be sort of the paroling of people who have been deported back into this country? That's possible.
Doug, new poll out about this in Bloomberg today. 2-to-1 support among independents. So it's starting to look like a political coup, as well as a policy maneuver, especially in swing states.
I think Allison's exactly right. As a matter of policy, this is very, very, very problematic with all sorts of unanticipated and uncharted questions that come out of it. However, since we're here to talk about politics, 4.5 months before an election, this was a very smart move to do two things. One, change the subject. Two, for President Obama, given the widespread support for a path to citizenship or some recognition that young illegal immigrants should not be deported, it's hugely beneficial, I think, with swing voters, but also obviously with Hispanics who Governor Romney can't write off, and he appears so far not to have much of a strategy.
No, he really doesn't. Let me ask you a question, just because while we got the pollster in the house.
Right.
The polls this year seem to be all over the map.
They are.
I mean, one day you've got Obama up, the other day he's down. Contradictory. Is this finally the cell phone effect being felt, or what accounts for this?
It's 3 or 4 things. Yes, it's cell phones. It's response rates. That is, people just aren't responding to polls anymore. 4th, you can't reach minorities. It's really tough. And 5th, there's methodological questions, whether random digit dialing by telephone, automated polling, or even the internet. It's unclear which is the best methodology.
How will polling change in the future to sort of remedy all these things?
You know, I must tell you, as somebody who has done a lot of candidate work, who has fiercely defended my profession, the honest answer, Allison, is I don't know. I can tell you that
An honest man, ladies.
I don't think the pollsters themselves know, but it's a work in progress. And the dirty little secret is every aggregator says if I just average them, I'll get a good result. So far, it's worked. Doesn't have to.
Oh, I love the honesty, Doug Schoen. God bless you. In the meantime, you'll keep cashing those checks, I'm sure.
Oh, that's for sure.
Final
Absolutely.
word. Final word.
Corrosive.
Allison.
Math.
Math.
Math. It's all about math.
It is polling. That's all for us at NewsBeast. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wait, what was your word?
Polling.
Oh, polling.
I did, because it wasn't as good as corrosive or math. Felt, a final word inadequate.